Hey, it's Mike Green here. I want to talk to you about our 2009 Peterbilt 389. It's been our truck for a long time. It's getting ready to go to a new home, and I just want to point out a couple of features, maybe for you viewers and the new owner, before he comes to get it. One of the things that everybody walks up to and they want to open up the hood, they're like, okay, where's the hood latches? They're hidden. They're right underneath here. There's one on each side, and the hood opens normal once those are unlatched. As we walk around the front a little bit, and we'll get to this in a little bit, the truck's got what they call city lights. There's a switch inside that'll turn on two purple lights in each headlight. We go around in the passenger side. Again, hidden hood latch on this side as well. And as we move on back here to the fuel tank, looks like a normal fuel tank. Up here on the top is where the hydraulic is for the trailer. What this is, it's got a tube that goes through the fuel tank up here to the seam. This is your hydraulic tank right here. So it's real easy to fill. We didn't want to put the fill spout underneath the sleeper, tried to make it as easy as possible. The other thing that's a little bit tricky is I've got a couple of hidden toolboxes in here. Even the switch is hidden, and I know where it is. Pop this open, so you've got two storage boxes in here. I've got those all emptied out, of course. Pretty self-explanatory, but that switch is a little hard to find sometimes. So we'll leave those open. Back here,
right under here.
Standard hookup for your trailer. This trailer has hookups underneath. This also just pops right open, lifts up like that, and then you flip the switch and lock it back in place. You could probably get around there and get a little better look at that.
And the switch is
right
there.
The switch is here on that, here on the toolbox. So as we walk around back here, a couple things that always bring up a question. You can open this compartment right here with this nut. There's two spare hydraulic lines in there in case you ever had trouble with either one of these. These are just two extras. They're in a long tube right there, so it's pretty easy to get to. Then right here, just a standard toolbox, nothing extra fancy, but it is there. And we're going to walk around to the back of the trailer. This trailer's a 53102 2002 Talbert. We'll back up just a second here. Take a look right there. It's got dock levelers. So it's got one of those on each side. They'll go down and bring this trailer up to any dock height. It makes it real handy if you're going to load onto somebody else's standard flatbed or whatever you might get into. Super handy to have those. So we go to California a lot, because we're right on the border. California has to have a shorter pin setting, so these axles are actually what I call in the California position right now. You got to have a dock bumper over there, so we've got basically a portable dock bumper on the back of the trailer. Works out real good. I'll show you how that detaches in a few minutes. We walk up here. Your dock leveler controllers are right here. You would just reach underneath here, pull those out, and both of those will go down, push them in, and they go up. Really, really super handy to have on a trailer like this. As we walk up here, a couple of low lights right there. This is the main control panel for the trailer. These are your load lights right there that turn on and off. This unlocks your winch. This controls your axles in your deck and the power to the winch. This unlocks that sliding axle so it can slide back into the full 53-foot position, or you can lock it into the California position. This is your electronic air gauge right here for the trailer. Close that back up. Then you can see all the hookups on this truck are underneath. does have an aluminum fifth wheel with a slider. I've never moved that since we painted the truck, so it's in really, really nice shape right now. Then you can kind of get to look at the rest of it there. So in here, I put a lithium battery in the sleeper. That's the controller for it right there. It came in real handy. I had a small refrigerator freezer in there. It worked out great for running my CPAP machine at night if I was to spend the night in here, which I honestly didn't do very often, but it did work real handy. So all of that control is right there. You can see that there's the back of the plug right there, and there's also multiple plugs inside the sleeper as well. Okay, so we're inside the cab now, and it's really pretty standard. You know, your headlights, marker lights, those turn on the purple city lights that I was talking about, you know, in the headlights. So we'll move across here. This is the power takeoff switch right here, which, you know, we need to engage to operate that trailer. All of these switches here are standard. As we move over here, this switch, the truck's got like purple neon underglow lights under the truck and the trailer. That turns all that on right there for you. Standard Peterbilt GPS. I never used it very much, but it did work pretty good. Everything else on the dash is pretty standard. Speaker for your phone if you're Bluetoothed into the stereo. It's got a standard CB radio, external speaker. You know, like I said, not really anything much different than a stock truck. So that'll be enough of the interior for a minute until we get started on the operation of the trailer. So now we're going to start the truck and engage the PTO and go over the basic operation of the trailer. So we'll fire it up, wait for all those bells and whistles to quit, and then I'm going to make sure that the trailer brake is released and the tractor's set. I usually like to put the truck in gear, get that transmission to stop spinning. I'll engage that PO like that, put the truck back in neutral, let the clutch out slowly, and PTO is in gear, and we're ready to hop out and see that trailer do its thing. Okay, so we're going to walk back and take that California dock bumper off real quick. It looks a lot heavier than it is. It's made out of aluminum, so like I said, it's pretty light, it's pretty easy to pick up, and it's, you know, really super user friendly. So what we're going to do first, we always have to remember to do this, is unplug this light cord right here. Then what I like to do is walk it around, come right up here, and I just tuck it right there out of the way, and it never causes a problem right there. And we've got to reach in here. I don't know if you can see these in here. We're gonna pull that out, and I got to reach my hand right here, give that a little shove. Goes down, then we're going to do that right here. Well, so now that bumper's loose and it's ready to lift, and what I usually do, I just reach over here like that, give her a little lift, then I'm going to go right over here. And what's nice about it is you can sit it down and it's not going to damage any paint or anything, so you just lay it down there right out of your way. Works super easy. So now we'll walk back up to the control panel. Now we're back up to the control panel. We're going to slide the axles forward on the trailer. There's our controls right here. This middle handle is moving those axles. And you can just hold that in. I also have a remote control for this in the cab, which operates really super easily as well. So that's pretty self-explanatory if you wanted to use a remote. I always kind of like to stand here and watch, and unless I'm loading a truck or something by myself, it comes in handy to operate the winch and pull yourself up. Okay, so now the axles are all the way in the forward position. Now we're going to put the deck up. Now your trailer's ready to load, and basically it's going to kind of go back together the same way that we just did. So I'm going to go ahead and put it down, and we'll go over putting all that back together right away. Trailer gets all the way down. After you can roll all the way back, and they'll roll all the way back to the California stop. So if we were to unlock that lock, they would go all the way to the back into the full travel position. Like I said, that's just a California thing, and we ran that way a lot. Tried going over there all the way out, wound up getting a ticket for it, so came up with this idea, and it's always been pretty good. So it's all the way out now. This last handle is the winch. If you maybe take a quick look up there, you can kind of see how that cable just keeps a little bit of tension on it. And so we're done in here for now. So we're going to talk about the dock levers real quick, because we got the PTO engaged, just to give you a quick look at what they do. Reach down here, you can see the two handles, and then you can see right here. Now we're going to go ahead and put that California dock bumper back on. Nice, like I said, I just sort of grab it like this, lift it up. She's a little heavy, not too bad. Pull your pin. Secure that. Secure that. Plug your lights back in. And this comes right in here. Goes right in there. That's pretty much it as far as operating the trailer. We're going to hop in the cab, shut the PTO off, and we'll be ready for travel. So now we're going to shut the PTO off. It's really simple. I always just push the clutch in, turn it off like that, let the clutch out slowly to make sure it's not engaged anymore, and it's not. If it was engaged, you would be able to hear it. So anyways, thanks for taking a look, and I hope that this provides a lot of information for the new owner, and they get a lot of happy miles out of this old gal. There's a couple of things that I forgot to point out when we started the initial walk around. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's kind of hiding in there. That's the battery cutoff switch, which is, it's a real handy thing to have, and you can see it right there. And one other thing right back here, just for you to look at, all the standard air and electrical connectors are inside this box right here. I never use them because we have our connectors down below, but they are under there if a guy ever got in a jam and had to pull it with another truck that didn't have that. You can just pop that off and everything's in there ready to go. So anyway, thanks again for watching.